Good morning, my beautiful friends. This is your wake up call with Maui Paul. It is Friday. Yes, indeed, we have the weekend ahead of us. I am excited for that. I hope that you are as well. We're going to be going through my I Am deck today. This I Am deck is full of positive affirmations, and this is my I Am deck. I've actually created these cards. I'm very excited about sharing them with you today. But essentially, what we're going to do is we're gonna say some nice things about ourselves. So before the world has a chance to get at us and to tell us lousy things about ourselves, things designed to get us to feel inferior, like we're not rich enough or we're not pretty enough, well, we're going to really bolster our own self-esteem, our own self-worth by affirming something positive. And my goal in doing this for you and also for myself is that we will reach for that positive thought first, that we will avoid indulging in negative thoughts. Ain't, according to my friend Brenda Jean, who came up with that little acronym, ain't. Avoid indulging in negative thoughts. What a wonderful way to remind ourselves that negative thoughts are indeed an indulgence. They feel great in the moment and awful later on. They're like junk food for our soul. So we're going to put some nice healthy food into our souls right now by saying that today I am enthusiastic. I am enthusiastic. I bring substantial energy to everything I do. So I am enthusiastic. I bring substantial energy to everything I do. So I'm going to write that down in the chat, and I encourage you to write that down into the chat as well. And because as we do, as we put that into the chat, um, as we put that into the chat, we are really bringing it into the world. We are making it more real than it was before. And so essentially, when we are thinking it, that's one form of belief. When you hear me say a word, or when you hear anybody say a word, that is one level of belief. Our belief increases as we say it ourselves. Our belief increases even more as we write it down. I have this little day planner right here that a friend got me. A wonderful, wonderful gift. I find that when I actually write down my to-do list, it gets to Dodd. And when I don't write it down, it just sort of like lives nebulously and it doesn't really ever get done. So writing things down is incredibly, incredibly powerful. And we can be enthusiastic about the things that we write down. We can just approach life with a sense of energy, with a sense of I'm doing this with my whole heart. I'm doing this right now. If it is important enough to do, it is valuable enough to do with our whole heart. It is valuable enough to do with everything that we have, putting all of our effort and our energy into it. Because ultimately, who wants to be involved in something that if even we aren't enthusiastic about it, how on earth could we get anybody else to be enthusiastic about it? If I came up to you with the wake up call with Maui Paul every morning and I felt like I was about halfway dead and I wasn't enjoying it at all, would anybody watch? Of course not. Nobody would be interested in watching because even I wouldn't be interested in it. And the fact is that I did this for a year before I even started doing it on the internet. It was fun enough for me to hold my attention for a year before I even started doing this. And so that's how I knew that I was enthusiastic enough about it and that it really was sufficiently beneficial in my life that that it was time to share it with others. So I am enthusiastic. I bring substantial energy to everything I do. If it's worth doing, it's worth doing excitedly. A friend of mine, he has a little personal motto: if it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing. And he's a guy he won't buy one of something, he'll buy 20 of something. He won't build a 100 square foot building or a shed. He'll build a 5,000 square foot shed. It's just like if it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing. I remember when I was building my tour bus over on Maui that I said a silent prayer for whoever would ever have to tear my work apart, because I built that thing so solidly that if that whoever would ever need to tear it apart or remodel it, well, may God have mercy on their soul, because it ain't coming apart very easily. It was meant to last. It was built to last forever. And so I sincerely hope it still is lasting forever, because well, that's how I meant. I built it with enthusiasm. So this card is our invitation today to be enthusiastic, to bring enthusiasm to our jobs, to bring enthusiasm to our relationships, to bring enthusiasm to our passion projects, to our art, to our life in general. The next time that we are just like doing something mundane, we recognize that we can bring a little bit of enthusiasm to it. And that enthusiasm is infectious, that if we're enthusiastic about something, other people are enthusiastic as well. That they take their cues from us. I mean, I remember one time I was at the DMV in Texas, and like the DMV is very similar everywhere that we go, everywhere that I've gone in the country. Usually they're effective, they're efficient, they get their job done, but they are essentially functionaries. They are there to collect paperwork and dispense government IDs. That's what they do. And and I remember that this person was very similar to most of the DMV employees that I had ever met. Like they were not excited at all about their job. Like they were a functionary and they knew it. And so their job was to just be fairly dull. And I mean, I remember that I was just so excited about being at the DMV. Finally, I got this person to crack a smile and to show me a little bit of their humanity. And it was like a huge boon to me. I felt like I had triumphed. I had gotten the DMV person to smile and be happy and laugh a little bit. And I'm sure that most of the folks who had gone down to the DMV and are used to being told no, because have you ever gone to the DMV and just like had everything like all lined up? I last time I went down there to get my driver's license in Georgia, the person looked at me and said, "You are the first person who's ever like you're the first person today who's just had everything and I haven't had to send you back." I was like, well, yeah, you guys have all the requirements on the internet. But they were actually that apparently this is just what they do. They just tell people no all day long. So surely telling people no all day long would really hurt your enthusiasm. So when I was able to get the DMV person to be enthusiastic, it made me very happy. It was like a personal win. I was like, yes, I can bring some joy to the Department of Motor Vehicles. Anyhow, I am enthusiastic. You are enthusiastic today too. Let's go be enthusiastic in our lives and about the things that we choose to do, the way that we're choosing to spend this limited time that we have on this planet. Let's be enthusiastic about it. Let's love it, and let's take that enthusiasm and really apply it to the people around us who we love as well. I want to say thank you guys so very much for coming by, for having some fun with me today. It is Friday. I will be back on Monday at 9 a.m. with the wake up call, and excited to do it and enthusiastic to do it because I am enthusiastic. Have yourselves a wonderful rest of your weekend, and aloha from paradise.